Israel has vowed to respond to Iran's huge barrage of ballistic missiles aimed at key military and security targets on Tuesday night. Iran's Revolutionary Guard said that the missiles hit their targets and that it had retaliated for the killing of the leaders of its allies, Hezbollah and Hamas, as well as a top Iranian general. Now, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has condemned what he called the broadening conflict in the Middle East. To talk more about this matter and some of the latest developments, we're joined virtually now by Israel's ambassador to South Africa, Eliav Belotsercovsky. Ambassador, thanks so much for your time and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much for having me. And with your permission, I would like to wish you and all the viewers a happy Jewish New Year. Today is the first day. Yesterday night we celebrated the New Year, and today is the first year of the New Year, and I want to wish all of us a better, much better year this year.
And indeed, Happy New Year to you and everyone who is celebrating and, as you say, hoping for better given what we have seen in terms of the escalation of hostilities in the region. Now, Israel has vowed to respond to Iran's huge barrage of ballistic missiles. And as you say, there's hope for better. But if you listen to the rhetoric coming from all sides, there does not seem to be any de-escalation at the moment. So talk to us about how Israel is viewing the situation at the moment and also how it intends to respond to what has been happening.
Yes, well, just to first to talk a little bit about what has happened. So on the 1st of October, Iran has attacked with 181 cruise missiles centers of population of Israel. It was a completely unprovoked attack that put the lives of millions of Israelis in danger. This was not the first Iranian attack on Israel. Just to remind, on the 30th of April, Iran attacked with 300 cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, UAVs, rockets, and so on, again attacking civilian population. So this is Iran. Iran is a terrorist state that not only attacks by itself, it also created proxies like Hezbollah in Iran, a terrorist organization that since the 8th of October has attacked Israel throughout the year, and we had to evacuate 60,000 Israelis from the northern part of Israel because of the missiles of Hezbollah. We also have the Houthis that are also being created and supported by Iran in Yemen that attack maritime navigation and fire missiles times and times again on Israel. And we have the Iraqi militia. So Iran has created a terrorist ring around Israel, and its only aim is to annihilate the state of Israel. This is the situation, and these are the facts. Now, on the 1st of October, as I said, there were 181 cruise missiles. Luckily for us, we have a very developed system of defense. We have our allies, Americans and others, that helped us to intercept these rockets, these missiles. And very unfortunately, and I say it with deep regret, we had one casualty, a Palestinian man in the north, in a village in the north of West Bank, that was killed by an Iranian missile. And we could see that these missiles, they don't distinguish between Israelis or Palestinians, between Jews or Arabs. Missile is a missile. It aims at creating devastation, creating death. And that's where we stand, unfortunately, with Iran. And I think that it's a matter of urgent importance for all the peace-loving countries, including South Africa, to join hands to support each other and to impose sanctions on Iran in a way that it will prevent the Iranian clerical regime from using terror in order to achieve its political aim. Terror is not a legitimate tool in a political interaction. Iran has to be stopped.
So if we look at what's been happening in the latest escalation and Israel launching incursion into Lebanon to go after Hezbollah, again, looking at that, looking at the formations that you have mentioned who are all now in one way or another in this latest escalation of hostilities in the region as a whole. If we look at when that October 7th attack happened, and it's almost a year to the day as we speak. Today is the 3rd, so it's almost a year to the day. And what happened there, and we heard from Israel that they said that the objective would be for the IDF to destroy, at that point, Hamas's military capability. And then you look at how this has escalated, and one has to ask the question about how does Israel at this point assess, or, how do you evaluate your objective as stated at that time to a year later where things have escalated dramatically?
Yes, well, first I have to say that we, Israel, we are fighting for our survival. That's as simple as that. It's not a question of any kind of argument or any kind of territory or a natural resource that we couldn't divide with the Hamas and we went to war. No, this is a question of our survival. And Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran has stated time and time again that their aim is to destroy and annihilate Israel. So we don't have any choice. I wish we would have, but we don't. So we are fighting for our survival. And Hamas, on the 7th of October, almost a year ago, when they attacked our communities in the south, towns, villages, also there was a music party with young people. When they attacked this in a brutal, very savage, with some kind of a medieval vengeance, I would say, and killed more than 1,200 civilians without any kind of provocation, and killed them in the most brutal way, killing parents in front of their children, burning kids, attacking young women and killing them after raping them. It was a terrible attack on us. And of course also, and just to add to this, we have still more than 100 hostages in Gaza that nobody knows if they are alive, if they are dead. That's something that is very, very crucial for us. So we had this attack. On the 8th of October, Hezbollah from the north, this is in the south, from the north, from Lebanon, started firing missiles on north of Israel. And as I said, we had to evacuate 60,000 Israelis from the north, in addition to 250,000 Israelis from the south because of the missiles of the Hamas. And then Iran has attacked us on 13th of April, and again on the 1st of October. And the Houthis have been firing missiles on Israel. So this is the reality that we live in. And our objective is to provide peace for the people of Israel. For the people of Israel, be it Jews, Arabs, whoever. This is our objective, and we need to destroy the terrorist infrastructure. Well, that's what we are doing now in Gaza, and that's what we are going to do in Lebanon to prevent the Hezbollah from attacking Israel. And by the way, Hezbollah is violating United Nations Security Council 1701 and 1559, which clearly stated that Hezbollah must position itself to the north of the Litani River. It's a river in the north, in the south of Lebanon. And they don't do it. They come to the border and they fire missiles on us and attack us time and time again. So we really hope that in this new year, we will see Iran stopping attacking Israel, stopping providing missiles to Hezbollah to fire it. We hope that we will manage to complete
So, and coming back to my question about your assessment at this point of trying to destroy Hamas's military capability, because now it has escalated, which means there's even more to go after. It means that Israel is now fighting on different fronts, and actively so, seeking to, as the Israeli government has put out, demilitarize and de-radicalize the region. So is this working, though? Because, Ambassador, you mentioned what happened on October 7th, which should be condemned in the strongest possible words and actions, everything that causes the loss of life of innocent civilians, women and children. On the other hand, though, we now at a point where a year later, more than 15,000 Palestinian children have been killed as well, where more than 15,000 women have been killed as well. So where do we draw the line? At what point do these hostilities cease? Because surely it cannot go on indefinitely.
Yes, first of all, I agree with you. And we deeply, deeply regret loss of lives. And in Gaza, there has been a terrible, terrible situation with many people that were killed. But we need to understand the reasons for this. The Hamas has used the civilian population. You know that there are about 500 kilometers of tunnels that Hamas has dug in Gaza in order to prepare for an Israeli military attack. The people of Gaza could get into the tunnels. The Hamas could hide them, could prevent them from being killed. But the Hamas, and it was stated actually on SABC shortly after 7th of October when you interviewed one of the Hamas operatives, and they said, the tunnels are only to protect the Hamas fighters, not for the people of Gaza.
So my question remains, Ambassador, and I apologize to interject, but we are running out of time. So let's assume that this is the case, that Hamas is using civilians as human shields, as you say. Where do we draw the line, though? Does this mean that Israel would be willing to kill every single Palestinian so that they ultimately get to Hamas? Because it's a year later, you still haven't achieved the objective that you have set out. And as I said, things are now escalating. So when does it stop?
Well, I'll answer your question. First, in Gaza, we are at a very advanced stage, and we hope that very soon we will be able to see a complete victory over the Hamas and an end of this conflict, and creating some kind of an entity that will be living side by side with Israel in some sort of a peace. This is regarding the Gaza Strip. In the north, in Lebanon, we are currently engaged in an active destruction of the military infrastructure of Hezbollah. The whole of the Hezbollah top echelon of operatives, including the head of the Hezbollah, has been killed. And we sincerely hope that the Hezbollah will become a political force and not continue to be a terrorist organization and fight Israel as it is now. We don't want anything, neither from Gaza, not from Lebanon. We just want to live in peace. And we also hope that Iran will learn its lesson and will stop attacking Israel time and time again. And for this, we call the international community to pressure Iran to convey to them messages of condemnation of what they are doing, to prevent them from trying to achieve a nuclear weapons, because we can easily imagine what would have happened if these missiles would be nuclearly armed.
All right.
So
unfortunately,
we
Ambassador,
need to stop.
We are unfortunately out of time. So many questions that I still wanted to ask you about the ban on the UN Secretary General from entering Israel and all those things. But unfortunately, we're out of time. We have to leave it there. Eliav Belotsercovsky is the Israeli ambassador to South Africa, speaking about Israel's position in the Middle East and the latest escalation in the conflict.